And we come to Chicago, man. If we need to check on it, once the pandemic raises up, we're gonna come to the shot and watch the game.
Yeah, we where they play. They don't play at the United Center. I think they play somewhere. It's not too far away from here, around DePaul or somewhere.
Or they play Rosemont?
Sometimes I think they play Rosemont, about 45 minutes away. So yeah.
Yeah, we get to the shot here. You know, we need to say, hey, Miss Parker.
Welcome to the First 40 sports show with the Goon Squad. You got Black Thor over there, you got Ice Water over there, and of course you have yours truly, Puma. We're going to start this segment off with hot topics, and Candance Parker is coming back home, baby. Black Thor, she's coming back home. Come on back home, baby. Come on back home. Candance Parker is coming back to Chicago, baby.
Man, I'm going to tell you something. I don't care where Candance Parker goes. That's my team, baby. I'm telling you right now. I know I do the report. I don't care where she go to play. Love doesn't cover what I feel for Candance Parker, man. I'm happy that she's getting out of there. Realistically, I think her and Derek Fisher kind of bumped heads. And to me, Derek Fisher doesn't know what he's doing realistically. And I had a conversation with the cat today, and we talked about this before. I think men coaches need to walk out of the WNBA and stop trying to coach them. If you can't get a job in the NBA, become an assistant coach, I don't give a damn, become a ball boy. But stop going over there trying to basically manhand these women and manhand their league, man. I don't understand it. Derek Fisher couldn't make it with the New York Knicks, then you should be coaching the LA Sparks. And I know he only coached the LA Sparks for one reason, because he knows the owner well of the LA Lakers. And that's the reason why he has a job. He couldn't coach out of a paper bag. But getting back to Candance Parker, man, I'm happy that she moved out of there. She moved on. I was hoping that she kind of basically would just kind of move out of basketball in general, come to TNT. I think Good Morning America is waiting for her to retire. She has plenty of options, but maybe she's putting that on the back burner, and I can't blame her because she's very young. But I'm happy, bro. She get a fresh new start. She still has play in her. She's going to automatically elevate the Chicago Sky to where they can basically compete for a championship. And it's kind of wide open now because for the most part, LA Sparks going to be going down. The Lynx is coming down. The Sun, it kind of makes the league itself more competitive. So you know what? I'm super excited about it, bro. I'm super excited that I am.
Ice Water, you sent me an article about this, and you seem to be excited about it, man. What are your thoughts about after 13 years leaving the Sparks and going to the Chicago Sky?
Well, I'm excited for her because I think she's doing it for a number of reasons. I think she wants to go back home. She's been out in California for a long time, and then she has a daughter. And then to be able to go back home and show the daughter the roots. I'm sure they visited from time to time in Chicago, but to have her around family all the time is probably great because now she can show her where she grew up. That's where she spent a lot of her time in that area. So to go back, and then of course from a basketball standpoint, it just adds to her flavor. And when she was with the Sparks, even though she was one of the best, maybe the best player at one point in the league, a lot of times she didn't get the love. Left off international teams or whatever they were.
Right.
Now it's like, okay, I'm gonna leave the Sparks and I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna show you really what it is. I got about maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe three good years left, and I'm gonna show y'all the real Candance Parker because you've been asleep on me. So I'm gonna go home and make them good. That's what real champions do, right? I'm happy for her from that standpoint, and I think that's what she's gonna do. And Candance Parker, I got much love for her, man. I'm happy for her. Beautiful individual. I ain't gonna be like Black Thor. I ain't gonna come running to you when my first girlfriend leave me. You understand what I'm saying? I'm rolling with you, baby girl. We got jumped at the altar, then all of a sudden he down with you. You always look, hey, like you say, like Wu-Tang said, you a starter like Candance Parker, baby. They made a song about you, so you always down with me. You made the Wu, so she always down with me.
Puma, y'all let me back in here, bro. Don't get me wrong. There's different type of loves, and there's different loves that you feel. There's a love for Maya Moore, and there's a love for Candance Parker, baby. Because it's just different type of love. It's just what it is. Candance Parker, man, I please, she ain't gotta never talk to me, and I'll always be in love with her, bro. It's just what it is, bro.
I'm just shocked at how quick you got over Maya Moore.
That broke
the heart, bro. That broke the heart.
I keep bringing her up. We know what's going on, Maya Moore.
He was crying. He was crying.
Why y'all gotta keep reminding me of my pain? Let me deal with that. You know, I push that in the back. Why y'all always gotta be bringing to the forefront? We know what happened with Maya Moore. And I was Maya Moore the best, but if that knucklehead ever moves out of the way, it's not wrong again, bro.
Then what you gonna do with Candance?
He's just conflicted.
I'm saying. Wait in Africa, what you gotta make a choice? Make a call.
Make a choice, Craig.
Yeah, bro.
Two is better than one.
Oh, man.
Hey, but Puma, let me throw this at you real quick. I'm gonna say this though. The fact that you in Chicago, man, I'd be a season ticket holder. Yeah, I'm saying.
I might be there this summer, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I might be there this summer.
Hey, we finally gonna meet, huh? I guess you Candance Parker to bring us together. We gonna finally meet in person.
It's a possibility, baby.
Hey, we gonna broadcast live from the game.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm checking the schedule soon as it comes out, baby. I'm checking the schedule comes out.
All right. Ice, I want to go to you with this one, and then we can go to Black Thor, because I don't know if you saw this fight, but I happened to watch the Conor McGregor fight, and Dustin put a beat down on Conor McGregor. Yeah. And I told you a while ago that I felt like Conor McGregor is on the outside looking in the UFC, because he got beat by Khabib, and he's talking trash like Khabib's scared of him and all that other stuff. And Khabib, I guess, called Dana White that night and said, listen, man, just come to grips. None of these guys are on my level, man. Why should I even come back and fight in your league anymore? But I saw the beatdown. I said he pretty much fractured or broke Conor McGregor's leg. And you could see it because he couldn't move away from them punches and just got laid out. And now you got the Nate Robinson meme, and now you got the Conor McGregor meme. So, and they even got a meme with him, with Bernie Sanders, with him hugging him on the mat. So give me your thoughts about this fight, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at it, and the UFC is like that. I mean, you only see a few dominant guys that nobody can touch. I mean, the only person who really comes to my mind is John Jones, right? When he was in his best shape, yeah, he just beat folks down. So I think it's kind of back and forth. Conor McGregor is not the guy he used to be. But I'm gonna say this to you, and I know a lot of people don't like Conor McGregor, but he's a pay-per-view commodity for that sport. People still watch him no matter what. He hasn't fought in a while. But he took an L. He got beat down as we beat the guy before, Dustin before. But here's my thing. This is Conor McGregor. I'm not saying he lost on purpose. He lost fair and square. But when you say he down, Conor McGregor said, let me fight that dude again. And when you give him enough time, he'll find a way, dude. That's how he is. He is crazy like that. That makes more money for Dana White. Now, Khabib might be a different thing because he might just have his number. But you know how that rolls. So he lost. Not everybody's coming for him. Oh, he's easy now. I could beat him. He's not that good, blah, 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 right? He clearly got beat down. He got beat easily. But now everybody's coming for him like it's easy pickings, and they want to put his, they want to put his name on their record so they can beat him down. Be very careful because he's slick like that. Also, too, this is perfect for Dana White now because what is he saying? Like I've been telling you, how long I've been telling you this for like 5 years now? What they saying now? Conor McGregor, number 3, baby, versus
Nate Diaz.
Yes, sir. You already know. That's the fight. Nate Diaz don't care. The only way that Nate Diaz lost to Masvidal the last time, the doctor had to take him out. His eye was hanging out. Dude was like, I'm still ready to go. You say what you want to. I want to meet Nate Diaz. I want to drink some brews with him, and I want to have a couple edibles. In the end of that. That's all I want. And I want to walk down the street because somebody say something, I know he's going to knock the hell out of me. That's what I do. I don't give a damn. We need to go to Stockton, California and do a live remote because that dude, man, is amazing. I love that dude, man.
He's one of my favorites.
He's ride or die, bro.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites, too. He doesn't care. I know, Black, you've heard this. I haven't been watching SportsCenter or ESPN because of the Tom Brady watch. So I've kind of boycotted all that and just watching just sports. But I know you heard the Conor McGregor fight against Dustin Poirier. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. But also I want to go back to Ice after I go to you, Black. there's another a guy who fought on the undercard, Iron Michael, the guy who's a Bellator champ, 3-time Bellator champion. I think he is an up-and-coming guy. Not up-and-coming. I think he is a worthy opponent for any one of these guys. But we'll come back to that at a later point. Black, you get to see this, man?
No, I didn't get to see it, and like you, since Sunday, the debauchery that happened on I really kind of tuned off from sports. I know we'll probably get to that conversation a little later, and that's going to be interesting. But I'm looking at it like this, man. I think Conor McGregor has done enough for that sport, and he's a lightning rod to an extent, but it's time to roll Jack, bro. I mean that Carnival act is getting a little old to me, man. I don't know how the people kind of tune in and paying attention or not, but I'm not surprised. But to me, he's like a punch-drunk fighter, man. He keeps showing up, he keeps bouncing around, and if people are paying attention and into him, I get it. But if they're not, it's time to find yourself a new star. He's done carried him maybe as far as he can go, and I didn't even see the traction of paying attention, bro. I was happy to hear he got his butt kicked because he has a big mouth. I know that's his spiel, but it's like basically he gets what he wants. He calls you out, and he finds you in the ring. I wouldn't be surprised him and Mayweather go at it again. Mayweather was talking junk about him. So if he say something about Mayweather's daddy or his uncle or something like that, Mayweather might want to put it up because it looked like this fight now with this YouTube guy may not even happen because nobody wants to see it. Niggas say all they want is the lane. Nobody ain't paying attention to that nonsense. And that's the reason why, because Mayweather want to make big money out of this, and they don't have to front money. So, I'm just hoping this, when it's all said and done, this doesn't turn into wrestling, bro. Because to me, it's starting to kind of get a little bit of that kind of, entertainment, wrestling type of feel to it. Maybe I'm wrong, but when dollars kind of take over, it can happen.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't get to that point. You're right, where they're fixing fights, or you already know the winner before you even go in the ring. They determined that before. But I got to give it to Conor. He has a big following, especially among the Irish. He's one of those tough Irish fighters that he's going to get that following. And I do believe what I said earlier. He's going to be back some way, somehow, knocking somebody out in the first round. And then all the press and stuff are going to come right back saying, okay, he's back in the mix again. So I look forward to seeing him. Black, I'm going to go back to you with this. Maybe we'll talk boxing and UFC a little bit later. The Texans land their coach. We were talking about a little bit earlier before the show started. What do you think about their move to hire David Culley as their head coach?
When I first looked at it, I was like, yeah, how did they pick him out of a basket? How did they kind of pull him? And then I read what they was kind of looking for. And they weren't looking for a guy for X and O's. That's not what they want. I guess they figured they can hire a good offensive coordinator, a good defensive coordinator. And Houston kind of got real with where they were, saying that they need to kind of, in so many words, rebuild. They need a new direction. And they're looking for someone to kind of lead that more so than a coach to come in and basically say this X, Y, Z. If they're true to their word, then I think it's going to work, bro. I mean, this guy comes highly rated. He's been on John Harbaugh for a period of time. He was in there Reed for a period of time. So he has some knowledge. He's up there in age a little bit, but he has some knowledge, and he could be the man that basically, gets them to where they need to go. With that being said, Weston got to get the hell out of there, and I think he knows it. You got to go because that team is not going to be good for a period of time. And for that reason, man, don't waste your talent there. And I know he's feeling the same. I believe he's feeling the same way. So they're looking to go in a different direction. And I think for the most part, in the long run, I think it's a good move for them because I think they tried it. They did some things, clean house, clean the cupboard, start fresh and build. This guy may not even be there for 5 years, but maybe he can turn this situation to where another person comes in and they're off and running. But I think Houston do need to go in a different direction. And to bring in a star coach at this point, let's just say Eric Bieniemy, and there's nothing in the cupboard, you ain't going anywhere, bro. And I thought originally this job was available. It was a key spot for him to go to. But after seeing over the period of time, you don't want that job. You don't leave Kansas City for that, bro. So realistically, yeah, I think in the long run, they made a good move. They're not trying to make a splash. They're trying to really kind of turn the ship around, get it going in a different direction, and I think they will.
The two things I wrote down while you were talking was a stopgap and rebuild. And if that's the case, then you're going to lose a lot of your veterans and a lot of key players. And if that's what Houston's going to do, then Ice, why not get Bieniemy to have him build the team in his own image?
I'll say this, and I've been looking at these notes. I've been hiding heavy. I've been waiting on this. I've been waiting on this, and I'm about to deliver it.
Uh-oh.
It appears when they make this they got one thing right. According to everybody, I understand now, David Culley is a minority. Okay, so we got that. All right, he's a minority, so that's cool. It's all well and good. But now you bring in David Culley, and you're telling the rest of the NFL, you're telling that team that, simply put, you're moving on from Deshaun Watson. You don't want Deshaun Watson there anymore. And I'm gonna tell you why. Granted, yeah, okay, they're going to keep the offensive coordinator, and then you're bringing in this guy. He's not X's old. They say he's more of a he's a team guy. He's a player guy. Okay, but if you want to win football games, I don't think that's the answer. And I think that's why Eric Bieniemy wasn't chosen, because Eric Bieniemy and Deshaun Watson, that's the merit that you're talking about when you're trying to build a real future down there. And maybe they are starting over, and they're going to let Deshaun Watson walk because he has a no-trade contract. But he has to decide where it's going. Anyway, let's get into this real quick. Let me break this down. Deshaun Watson this year had a career year. He has his best year as far as yards is concerned, career TDs for the season. Unbelievable. But let me take y'all back, because evidently, this is beautiful. Evidently, people have forgotten who David Culley is or was. David Culley, of course, was the passing game coordinator for Baltimore. Baltimore last year, the last 2 years, finished last in passing attempts, right? And passing yardage. Who's over there? Lamar Jackson. Although in one of the last 2 years, they were number one in the number of touchdowns. So with limited opportunities, Lamar Jackson got it done, which means you can't move forward when you're not allowed to pass the ball, okay? Then we want to go back to where he was over at part of the offense when Josh Allen was a rookie over at Buffalo, when he struggled. Rookies, we get that. But I'm going to get down to the nitty-gritty here real quick. Let's go back. He also was with Kansas City. So he did the little deal with Andy Reid for a while, I think like 4 years. But Puma, I know you're going to really remember this. 2014, do you remember when I told you before, we made a joke about it, that Kansas City, when they had Alex Smith as a quarterback, they found a way to go the whole season without throwing a touchdown to the wide receivers. You remember that?
Yeah.
You remember me telling you that?
Yeah.
Pointing that out. Guess what? Guess who the wide receiver coach and assistant coach was? David Culley. So you ain't trying to win no damn game. How much more do you need? And I ain't even mad yet. So let me break it back down. That clearly shows me you did not want to win. You don't want to win football game. You're rebuilding. Okay? Let Deshaun Watson go. Got you. Thank y'all for opening it up like that. Now it makes sense. And the last point, you got your minority. Also, so you reached the Rooney rule. Thank y'all.
Yeah. The two words, stopgap. Like, he's just the coach there, kind of calm things down, or to rebuild, or to get to the next coach. And so it's like, are you really trying to win football games? Are you really trying to build a franchise that's going to contend for a Super Bowl in the near future with the talent you have, or grabbing talent to get there? And it just seems like, if you're a Texan fan, this is a gut punch, I would think. This is a big gut punch.
But keep in mind that Bill O'Brien gave away draft picks, bro.
Yeah.
They don't have draft picks. That team is, and that's another reason why Deshaun Watson to get out of there. He damaged this team, bro. When the owner basically allowed him to assume the responsibility of their general manager, I think the guy named Rich Smith, they ran out of the way and put him in place. I'm amazed now, and it's the good old white boy network, let's be honest. I'm amazed now that Alabama Saban is ready to bring him in. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's amazing. You can be white and run a franchise into the ground, and your boy act like, you know what, come here, we're gonna take care of you until you can get something better. He should be banned from walking the sideline, what he did to Houston Texans, bro. And no one wants to say that. So it really, when you look at it from that particular point, the Texans are going to be a bad team for a long time, bro. They're going to be a bad team for you. So when you say stopgap, you're right on the head because they're going to be a bad team for a long time. I don't even know why Leslie Frazier even talked to him. I have no idea why he talked to him. I mean, I understand you're desperate. You want to, I hate to say that word, but black assistant coaches are desperate to walk the sideline. Bro, don't let them use you like that. Stand back, look at the situation, and don't even go there because that team is not worthy of you walking the sideline. It's not. I mean, what they've done, what he's done to that team, what the owner has allowed Bill O'Brien to do to that team, it's a shame, bro. It's an absolute shame. So, no, it is a stopgap. And that's why, he didn't get out of there. And, and just let them be what they're going to be for the next 3 to 5 years. They get some draft picks and start to rebuild because they can't do nothing else. It's not about winning games anymore. They cannot do a darn thing, bro. You figure what's name's at the end of his career, J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
You have no one else other than him. You have no draft picks. I think they're up against the cap. What can you do? Even hiring that general manager, he's got a job ahead of him, bro.
Yeah.
Beyond, yes.
Yeah. Trade J.J. Watt to a contender, man, so he can get a chance to get something and to bring up some young defensive linemen in the same vein. But we lost a lot of people even in this year. We lost a lot of people last year. Clarence Leachman. We just lost Cicely Tyson. We lost an icon in Hank Aaron. We're going to talk about next. Sekou Smith, 48 years old, NBA journalist, and we just lost him. But let's go to Ice Hank Aaron, hammering Hank Aaron, all the things he had to go through in his career. And to me, he's kind of, even though he was the home run leader and all this other stuff, and some people still consider him the home run leader. I don't think he got his just due. I really don't think he got his just due, even though a lot of people have a lot of respect for him and what he went through. Give me your thoughts about the late Hank Aaron.
Yeah, Hank Aaron probably was one of my early baseball heroes. I started watching baseball when I was like a kid, and that's really when he broke the home run mark. I was really in the heyday of when I really loved baseball. I love baseball. It was for me around the Big Red Machine was popping off in Cincinnati, so we had a lot of love. But what was really ironic about this was I was a big stat guy back in the day. My dad kind of intrigued me with stats, and I always hear that number, that 715, that 714 number or whatever with Babe Ruth, how many home runs he had. And I was like, man, became enamored with that. I was like, man, this is like the greatest mark ever. And then finally, Henry Aaron came up and he got real close. And I dialed in 714. He hit off Jack Billingham from the Reds. 715 against Al Downing when he broke the record. And it was like, man, he's about to get all this love. And he did it. It's like the greatest mark. It's by an African-American, a black man who did it. And all of a sudden we're like, oof.
Yeah.
It got real quiet. Like it didn't even happen. And I said, man, how dare you? I grew up loving this because that's all I knew. And then when a black man got it, they called him, they called him names, they threatened his life, and they just really it all fell down. They had even the audacity to say as if the so-called Japanese home run leader, Sadahara O, who had over maybe 800 home runs in Japan, was now the official home run leader. Are you serious? You never saw one pitch of Major League Baseball pitching. You never saw it. But just the way that they just did him, but he still was an ambassador. He fought strong because he was all about civil rights. Also, too, people don't talk about is the man played in the Negro League, so he knows what it's about. He knew what that was about early on. So he took what he did, what he learned in the Negro Leagues, and moved it over and became one of the greatest of all time, in my opinion. I love Barry Bonds and those guys, but at the same time, man, Hank Aaron was the guy. He was an amazing player, and more people need to recognize him. Of course, they will now because he died, which is symbolic of the BS that baseball does, waiting till the end of for someone to die to finally try to give them their flowers.
Yeah. Black, I remember my dad and I vaguely remember this because I was probably only 8 years old, watching TV and watching this historic event with Hank Aaron breaking the record. Your thoughts about it?
Hank Aaron was too good for Major League Baseball, baby. Just my opinion, realistically. I remember when it happened. I mean, he passed a few days ago. I was in the truck driving around, and you still had these old white commentators. Oh, excuse my language. Fuck you. Because if you didn't stand up and say this back when this was going on, don't come now. He's dead. He was this. He was that. What's the guy that's on ESPN? That little weasel. Act like he's ready to cry for Hank Aaron. I remember this when I was younger when he was going for the title. You didn't see anybody stand up for him. They admired him for going for it, but no one talked about what he was really going through. They act like it was no big deal. And in spite of that, like you said, the death threats, all that against his life, this man just wanted to play a game, a little child's game that he loved and what he admired. And the mere fact now, I don't want to hear you coming out now. I don't want to hear people coming out like you love him, because if you weren't back then saying these same things back then and talking what he had to deal with, then keep your mouth shut. I have no respect for you, none, because he gave you something you truly didn't deserve. You really did. Keep in mind that fat, drunk Babe Ruth that you love. That's part of the reason why I can't watch baseball now, because baseball's all enamored with their white, old, drunken, dumbass heroes, bro. I'm just going to say it like it is. So, no, he was too good for Major League Baseball. I don't have to talk about his accolades. I have to talk about the man that he was, because we all know that. He was way too good for Major League Baseball. So, please, miss me with all that. That's my response, bro.
All right. I'm going to give you some stats. And, of course, he's a Hall of Famer. Played for the Negro Leagues with the Indianapolis Clowns. Played for the Milwaukee and Atlanta Braves and the Milwaukee Brewers. 25-time All-Star. World Series champion, NL MVP, 3-time Golden Gloves, 2-time batting champion, 4-time home run leader, 4-time RBI leader. The Atlanta Braves retired his number, as well as the Milwaukee Brewers. In the Braves Hall of Fame, hit 755 home runs, had 2,297 career runs batted in. I mean, the numbers go on and on and on. And that's why I started out the segment with, I don't think he got his just due, because he was one of the great players of all time. And he never got his just due. But my thing, when I saw him, I wanted to give his flowers before I got bitter about it. But if Hank Aaron was another Hugh, he would be the America's kind of hero. But he wasn't looked upon like that. And despite that, he held his head up high. He was a man of dignity and integrity, and he was always looking out for people who looked like him and civil rights. And I can't imagine the pain that he kind of lived with knowing that he eclipsed Mount Everest in this feat in baseball and still wasn't appreciated, and people hated him for it just because of the color of his skin. So, rest in peace, sir. We got to carry on your legacy. It's all about legacy. We got to carry on your legacy. We got to let the younger generations know how great you were, and to aspire to be great as you. So, it's just a shame that, to me, he never got his accolades the way he deserved to get his accolades. We're going to talk some more baseball a little bit later, because I have some thoughts about the Hall of Fame. We talked about it last week.
Best thing ever happened.
But we'll talk a little bit about that later. And I'm wondering why, and I'll put this here, why didn't they put some of the, since they are recognizing some of the records of the Negro Leagues, this would have been a perfect time to induct some of the Negro League players into the Hall of Fame. Just a thought. I'll leave that there. But Sekou Smith, Black, I have to admit, I don't know too much about this brother. I just started reading a lot about him. I would see him, here and there, but really didn't know too much about the brother. Any words about Sekou Smith and his early passing to COVID?
Unlike you, I'm surprised to hear that he passed. Wasn't that familiar with him. Seen him a few times on television, and kind of admired his work, but to hear that he passed, I believe it was from COVID, it's like, wow, took me by surprise. It's like, man, 48? We know what COVID is doing to this country and doing to people, but that one kind of jumped out at me like, whoa. I mean, realistically, like, whoa, because you wouldn't have and it's funny because the person that was telling me, not funny in the comical sense, the person was telling me, they couldn't say his first name, but they kept saying Smith, and they said TNT. I was like, and you know who I thought of? I didn't want to say his first name,
Yeah.
but he was the first person I thought of until I kind of, looked and okay, yeah, that's someone totally different. But man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. A real tough one.
Ice, your thoughts, man?
Yeah, he was a solid journalist, man. When you think about it from the standpoint of coming up and doing his work, also mentored a lot of up-and-coming journalists from the National Association of Black Journalists, which is solid, which is a lot of, you had cats like Stuart Scott did the same thing. They always looked back because they knew what was going on. Also a graduate of a historically Black college as well. So put a lot of work in and did a lot of great things, did some time. I knew him a lot because of watching NBA TV, the network, and just solid, cool, kind of cool little dude. Cool little dude. He was. I mean, he was solid. He had his way of doing things, but he really knew about the game. He didn't really cause a lot of drama. He just kind of told you how it was, but he found his niche, and that says a lot about a journalist, not trying to be bigger than the game, but he found his niche, and he was solid. It is very sad at 48 years old that we lost him. His family lost him at such a young age. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I said again, for those don't believe, that COVID shit is real, man. It's real, bro.
Yeah. Rest in peace and prayers to everyone who we mentioned and any people who have lost people during this virus for any condition. Prayers and condolences and warm healing energies to all the families who have lost a loved one. Let's go to the NBA, man. Your eye test, Ice. What's your eye test this week? Because I saw a few games, and I think the Philadelphia 76ers took my advice and stopped putting Ben Simmons on little point guards because he can't keep up with them, and put him on bigger guys late in the game so he can play defense and give the ball up on offense in the point guard. And they were lucky enough to beat the Lakers last night. Give me your eye test, bro.
Yeah. Love it or hate it, Doc Rivers and that little crew, they playing some basketball, man. And the whole point of it is Doc Rivers is not the greatest coach of all time. We're never going to say that. But the one thing Doc Rivers can do, it has shown that he's teaching people that don't know how to win, how to play better basketball with what they have. Philadelphia's ahead of the East right now, 13-6?
Yes.
And they look better. I'm not saying they're going to win the championship, but it's better than what they've had in a long time because they've been, hell, you had everything and you've been throwing it away. When you go having a guy like Jimmy Butler, he's still not good enough. You don't want him. You throw him away. And then finally you have somebody that's a coach that says, y'all need to just calm the hell down. We're not trading Simmons. We don't want James Harden, although they came real close. It's almost as the owner said from Philadelphia, "Nah, you ain't just Houston. We're not going to let you do that. Get away with that. They weren't going to let that happen anyway." But they're well. Milwaukee's right there. Indiana's making a move. I like the way Indiana's been playing after the trade of getting out Victor Oladipo out. Even though Karis LeVert is still hurt, has not played yet. So Bonus is stepping up. Brogdon is playing real well. Indiana's making a move. Love them or hate them, even though they got beat twice by the Cavs. Do not sleep on Brooklyn, man. I'm trying to tell you, that little three-headed monster is still gonna be around and it's gonna piss some people off. So don't be afraid of that. Also, too, in the West, you gotta look at Utah. Utah is leading the West now. Utah has won 10 straight games. Nobody's paying attention to them.
Yeah.
It's not being pretty, but that's what they do. Portland's making moves. Golden State is at 6. I like the way they're playing together. My boy, Big Daddy Wiseman, dropped 25 last night on Minnesota. So slowly but surely they're making some moves. Also, too, they may not win the championship, but I watched the game the other night, Houston versus Washington. And Wall and Oladipo was giving your boy Westbrook the business. He was mad. In the fourth quarter, they was like, literally, I thought he and Wall were going to.
I thought they were going to fight.
Yeah.
I
was like, who you talking to? Like, yeah, all Westbrook could do is walk away. Because they started hitting on threes, and they was like, nah, bro, you can carry that back to Washington with you. You can carry that back to Washington. That was amazing. And kudos to a couple other guys, but one in particular, you should look out for over at OKC. Shane Gilgeous-Alexander is balling, man. He is playing some strong ball. He's finally coming into his own work. He's like the guy. So he's having like 21 points, 6 rebounds a game, making it happen. And you just have to say, I don't know how far they're going to go, but it's good to see a young man that kind of sparred a little bit. He had to try to play behind some veterans, but finally he's getting his time to shine. You know, when he started out with the Clippers and he was balling with them, then they had to move him on in the trade. Then he had to wait his turn with waiting on Chris Paul to leave and other guys too. I mean, it's just to that point now where he is the guy. So you want to see a sound basketball player, check him out.
All right. Black, give me your eye test, man. You watching the Knicks yet?
Not yet, bro. Not yet. I can't. I don't trust myself to watch the Knicks. I really don't, man. I you know, even go to their record's not great, but they find a way to step on from time to time to get some things done. I'm all right there. And I just want to touch on, too, what I said about Houston, bro. Even though Harden's not there, these cats aren't rolling over, bro. They're playing some basketball. They might not win anything anytime soon, but they're playing some good basketball. I like a lot of the younger teams are starting to kind of stand up and play. And it's not like you go to Cleveland now and you just bully them and get a win. And that's my letter to the NBA. The ratings are probably they're down. I'm pretty sure they're down. Because for the most part, a guy was saying actually I saw a video there, a guy was saying, the ratings are down in the NBA because people, you know, what they did with social justice. I disagree with that. The ratings are down because people are tired of basing LeBron all the time. You have a bunch of young players out there, man. You need to start highlighting. Put them in commercials, promote them. Cleveland, you got cat in Cleveland, you got cat in Atlanta, you got cat in Orlando that people want to see more. You got a cat in Utah. LeBron can't play for another 20 years, man. You got to wake up and realize, use these young men to bring people back to watching basketball because they're miraculous, they're playing well. We're tired of LeBron. He's good. We know what it is, but for the most part, the average viewer don't want to see LeBron just go out there and run people like a Mack truck anymore and win games. We don't want that anymore. Let's show that the NBA game is strong with young talent, and they'll come back.
Yeah, because I'm looking at teams like Atlanta with Trae Young. You got to watch Trae Young. He is must-see TV. You got Barrett and Randall handling business with Obi Toppin with the New York Knicks. You got Colin Sexton out there in Cleveland. You got Tatum in Boston. You got some young cats here in Chicago that are playing really well. You got one of the Ball brothers in Charlotte. You got players in Miami, the brother that was in the bubble that got hurt, and I think it hurt Miami's chances of really competing for a championship. In Utah, you have a bunch of players. You got a lot of players in the league that are making some noise. Even the brother Edwards in Minnesota, I saw a videotape of him talking about the first time facing Steph Curry, and he was like, "Man, it's real." That brother take one dribble and just fire it up. He said he's moving all the time. I don't know where he gets the energy from. He's always he's always on the move. And he was like in astonishment, like, "Yeah, I seen him play on TV," and like, "Yeah, all right, yeah, let me get there." Got there and found out it was the truth that this brother is the real deal, and also moved into second in all-time three-pointers. And you don't do that just by being kind of a novelty. So you got all these different players that you can showcase, and you don't do it, which I have to kind of challenge the marketing of the NBA, because you got to market your product, and you got to market towards the future and what do people want to see. And a lot of people want to see teams out of their particular area, the teams that they represent. So showcase these players, man. It's not all about Zion and LeBron. It's a lot of different NBA players that are doing their thing. And if you showcase them, people will start to pay attention. Let's go to Black's favorite subject, Tom Brady and the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl, I call it young bull versus old bull. And we saw the games last week, man. And I sent the text when I kind of figured out that Green Bay wasn't going to win. My dad texted me and was like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "It ain't looking good." And I was looking forward to Brady, Aaron Rodgers getting into the Super Bowl. But Tampa Bay was just too much. And, you know, my biggest concern came true. 2 weeks of Tom Brady. So I texted both of you and said, "You know what? I'm not watching ESPN and all this other stuff until after the Super Bowl," which I'm hoping. that the only saving grace in this, Ice, is that Patrick Mahomes is in the Super Bowl, and I want them to beat the snot out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's the only reason why I'm watching it. I could not watch Buffalo go to the – matter of fact, if you lose more than 4 Super Bowls, you should get to the NFC or AFC championship, and that's it. That's your you can't go. Minnesota, Buffalo, no, you can't go to the Super Bowl anymore. You're banned from the Super Bowl. So I don't care if I get it from the fans. It's just – I mean – matter of fact, I think I told you guys maybe in private, but the last Buffalo Super Bowl, I think they played the Dallas Cowboys. I didn't even watch. I'm like, I can't watch this another year. It's going to be the same thing. They're going to lose. I was working matter of fact, I signed up to work that weekend at a residential, so I wouldn't have to watch the Super Bowl that particular year, and I was busy all that night. But Ice, give me your thoughts about the NFC and AFC championship game and your thoughts about the Super Bowl, man, the Kansas City Chiefs against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We said that it wasn't going to happen. Don't expect Tampa Bay to be in the Super Bowl. But damn it, here they are in the Super Bowl with Tom Brady.
I'm going to leave that one for last. Let's jump over to Buffalo. I mean, you look at Buffalo and Kansas City, and like you said before, Buffalo has the talent, right? But Kansas City has that extra that gear. Mahomes and collectively as a team, they kind of ready to play, and they got it done. And Buffalo just young. They are just young, and they're ready. They're close. But I think they're going to learn a lot from taking that L. And that's Kansas City. When Mahomes came back, it was like, okay, what we going to do? And again, like I told you, I said they getting what? Everybody thought I was joking. I said they getting healthy. They about to use all these weapons. All of a sudden, Travis Kelce catching 1,900 passes in one game. The hell is that? He been sick to have the season, but the point of it is they keep using it, so they're getting ready, and they're going to be really fresh. And they showed Buffalo that, yeah, you guys had a nice little run, but you're not ready. We're trying to run this back. Y'all won't give my man, but enemy no run. That's all right. We're going to give him a second ring with nothing else. But amazing point by them to just handle their business and show you that KC is definitely defending champion. Moving over to Tampa Bay, Green Bay, somebody was telling me it's going to be too cold in Green Bay. I was like, yo.
Yeah. What's cold enough?
Told you keep messing with that old man. And he has the weapons. And I would say this, coming out the box, watching that game, to me, it appeared as if Tampa Bay was playing to go to the Super Bowl. You had defensive guys making plays and celebrating. And I know this is a bit much, and people might say whatever, but I'm going to put this down. I truly believe this, and I think it means a lot. Chemistry is so key to winning football games, particularly when you get down in the trenches. And granted, and I'm not just giving it all to Tom Brady because it was a collective effort. Everybody had to do their part. But you can't tell me that man probably – everybody who ever won the Super Bowl raised their hand. Everybody who ever been to the Super Bowl raised their hand, and not a lot of hands were raised. And he probably told them that if you win the Super Bowl, or even get to the Super Bowl, your life will change forever. And this is the guy that's motivated. A lot of guys talked about what he had said or what he meant to them, and they came out on all cylinders, man. They went after Rodgers. Rodgers was trying his butt off, but they just didn't have enough. And I was like, well, okay, Tom. And then when the defense started clicking, you saw old Ndamukong Suh over there like, try to give me a ring. Stuff start coming together. When you got Sue Brown that didn't even play, was like excited. Everybody excited. Dude, they were on point. They were on fire, and they tried to get Tom to talk all the time. He said, man, let some of these other dudes talk. And all they could do was talk about what he had told them before, what it was going to be like to get there. So love him or hate him, and the team in general, you got to take your hats off. They made it, and they are the first team to play at home in the Super Bowl. So that was amazing in itself. So, hey, Tom does it again, baby. But it's not going to be easy because Kansas City is the real deal. I'm looking forward to this. We know they played in week 6, and Kansas City won that game. They were to outlast them, and Mahomes was like, they said, hey, Mahomes, what do you think about playing against Tom Brady and all this and that? And Mahomes was like, look, we ain't worried about nobody else. We're defending champions. We're coming with ours. So I think it's going to be one hell of a game. I'm looking forward to it. I think you're going to have a lot of great matchups. We know with Kansas City, they're going to bring everything out but the kitchen sink. Now all of a sudden, Le'Veon Bell's healthy. What is our wide receiver? Everybody healthy. All hands on deck. So I think even Antonio Brown's gonna be healthy for this game. I'm telling, as far as a matchup is concerned, I'm looking forward to it because I think you have two teams. Now, even though Kansas City may be overall better talented than they are, than Tampa Bay is right now because they're older, but Tampa Bay is going to bring it. I think you have two great minds at quarterback, two great wheels, two great staffs, and they're going to put it out there, man. I hope it lives up to its billing because right now, if I had to look at, so I would prefer to see Kansas City in the game more than I would Buffalo, and I know everybody loves talking about Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers, but with the loaded weapons that Tampa Bay, when they play up to their potential, I would love to see them. So I'm excited about the matchup. I'm looking forward to the game. Old Bull versus Young Bull. And don't let Tom Brady win that other one, bro. Even when that second one, y'all might as well just y'all might as well just stop watching football. I know we already talking about it already because you didn't do nothing but just make you mad. And Puma, I got one last thing I get over here and let Black Thor talk about it. Man, get the hell off of Buffalo and Minnesota. They trying. They make the Super Bowl. Hey, don't you think Cleveland would love to be in the Super Bowl? Hey, at least you make it. I'm not mad at that. You need to let that old stuff you was holding on to back in the day because your team was winning. You need to let that go. Let these young cats roll, man. They make the damn Super Bowl. Come on, man. You showing your age right now. You showing your age right now.
Man. Black, I ain't even going to call his name. But number 20 for the Green Bay Packers, the defensive back, before he even got in the locker room, they should have had his whole apartment or house packed and out of Green Bay. Because I have never seen a defensive back make so many mistakes in a championship game in my entire life. And I blame the Green Bay coaching staff too. Get somebody else in there. I was on the phone with Django, and he was like, get number 20 out of the game. Because he, along with me and you, we can't stand to see Tom Brady. I give Tom Brady all the respect. He's been able to do it. But he was like, man, I got to get off the phone. He said I had to be on the phone with somebody who felt the same way I did. But as we started getting closer to a inevitable Tom Brady going to the Super Bowl, he was like, man, I can't believe this shit. I really can't believe it. I don't want to see this, man. It's going to be Tom everything for 2 weeks. I don't want to see it. We're not alone in this, bro. So give me your thoughts, man.
I'm going to say this, man. Piggyback on a couple of things I said immediately. Then I'm going to go to Buffalo. I'm happy for Sue, bro. Because even if Tampa Bay doesn't win, Sue deserves to play in the Super Bowl. I'm happy for him. I'm really happy. I got to give the coach Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator. This defense has turned it up 5 notches in the playoffs, bro. They didn't play that well all year, but they're playing some lights out defense. Now I'm gonna go to Buffalo and Kansas City. And Buffalo has made some nice progress. But Kansas City, bro, I think sometimes we lose sight of they've been struggling to do this since Mahomes been quarterback, they've been coming. And each year going like this. And it's like they play now almost with your feelings. Because they're going in, they allow you to feel good. You make a couple of things, you score. And it's like, okay, here we come. And they're just so deep. But beyond that, throughout the years, they have developed a will about them, bro. And it's hard to beat their will. You saw their will show up last year, Super Bowl against San Fran. That's what won that game, man. He didn't have a good game, Mahomes, but that will of that team, they just kind of rally together and they get it done. That's going to be tough to beat in the Super Bowl. That's going to be tough to beat them, period, because the will of that team, man, is something. If you saw Mahomes, when there was some scruffle going on with the Buffalo Bills towards the end of the game, when he ran out and told players to go back to the bench, what did they do?
Yeah.
They all just backed up, bro. A young cat, he was like, He stuck his hand out. It was like they felt the radiation, and they just moved back, bro. It's like, don't they mess this up for me. I need more
Malcolm X in the Spike Lee movie.
Yes. And it's like that team. Yes. It's like when he's out there playing and moving around, it's like he sends something to them. That's going to be tough to beat in 4 quarters, bro. That's going to be tough to beat and now you got a coach that has basically changed his character like, I'm going for it. I'm getting it done. I'm enjoying this. They're going to be tough to beat in any Super Bowl. And that I'll say for the start. I'm going to go over to Tampa Bay, and I always try to be objective to them. I'm going to tell you this, bro. At 45, 43, 32, 26, whatever, that first half, Tom Brady played his ass off, bro. I can't take that away from him. He played those passes were like, when I'm talking about spinning, dropping in the basket, even that pass, I don't know what number 20 was doing. He was looking back at Tom Brady trying to find the receiver. And the guy was 5 yards away from him. I'm like, but not only that, how do you can't run the clock out and give Tom Brady the ball back? Green Bay, I understand. I'm going to move over to Green Bay real quick because I think it's really time for us to see Aaron Rodgers for who he is. Aaron Rodgers is to me a selfish, sensitive, not caring, pouting brat, baby. I'm just going to say what it is because you basically had a chance to put this game away in spite of everything happened. Tom Brady gave you 3 gifts in the second half. 3 gifts. You did nothing with them. You got down there to the 8-yard line. And mean to tell me, your instincts as Aaron Rodgers did not know to run the ball in for a touchdown.
Yeah.
You threw the ball back against your body in the double coverage of the pass you know he couldn't catch. Yeah. Which says to me, you got some choking in your ass, bro. You got some chokeville up in your ass because you should have took off and did it. You seen a quarterback come off the bench for Kansas City and ran and ducked and almost got a first down. And now you want to get mad. What I really didn't like was the next time the Patriots got the ball, when that guy grabbed his jersey, this mofo had the nerve to walk up to the referee and complain about one call. Like that turned the game. I'm not saying that call was significant, but guess what? The refs allowed the whole game to be played. They moved out of the way, but that call, you can't let that call go by. The man damn near ripped his jersey off his back. And so you're going to be mad about that. No. How about be mad about your performance? You want to come out and tell what the organization should be doing? I don't think they should trade you, but this is just my words. Being the bitch that you've been in Green Bay for the several years you've been there, they should get rid of you. Because you act like a little whining bitch at times, bro. You had a chance to put that game away. Run. Go get, if anything, you got closer to go for a 4th down. I'm going to say another thing, too, man, that it's been kind of running around the NFL for a little period of time. And they may get there. But these young coaches in Green Bay, these young coaches in Cleveland, these young coaches in LA Rams, when you put them in a tight situation, they're little boys. Bro, there's nowhere in the world you got a chance to go Super Bowl. You don't kick no damn field goal at that point of the game and give the ball back to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro. You don't do that. And then you want to get mad at that. What the? We saw that with Cleveland a week ago. You get a chance to go down. What this coach do? I'm doing wide receiver screens. You saw what the coach of Rams did in the Super Bowl. They're picked to be the new coach. They don't know how to coach out of a paper bag when you put them in a serious game, bro. They can't. They're front runners. So miss me with these young white head coaches. You think they know what they're not because they don't. He made it. That is even Troy Aikman. I don't get that. I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm saying my same thing. That's a no. Even if you didn't get the touchdown, you got them down the 8-yard line. You're better off trying to stop them there than kicking off to them and have them come up. But that team in so many areas, and another thing with Aaron Rodgers, you said to the defense in the 3rd quarter, you walked across and Fox cameras caught you saying it. Stop them. Guess what? They did more than stop them. They got 3 interceptions, bro. If you can't come down in any game with 3 interceptions and take it over, you're only down by 8, you need to basically take your jersey and give to the team and tell them I don't want to play for you anymore. Because you did a disservice to Green Bay. Brett Favre would have got it done, bro. You give Brett Favre 3 chances, he would have got it done. So I'm tired of Aaron Rodgers running around. He's a front runner. You won 1 Super Bowl. You ain't been back since. And to me, that was more of a documentation on him. You can't get it done in big games, bro. And I'm tired of taking up for you. Now, to me, Tom Brady here again, for that first half, he played lights out. I'm not taking nothing away from him. And I'll say this about Tom Brady, and I agree. I don't want to hear his name, but I meant to this. He finds a way to get it done when the lights are bright. He just does. I can't take that away from him. And when it comes down to it, like I said, he allows other guys to shine. He's not arrogant. And that's what makes it kind of more easier to like or love him because he will stand up in big moments. He'll try his best. If he doesn't get it done, he puts his head down. He walks away. He doesn't run his mouth. Even when he wins, he's not braggadocious. And people attach to that. So here again, I don't want to hear the 2 weeks. I'm tempted to watch the game a little bit. If it gets to the point where Tampa Bay is starting to win the game, I will turn my TV off. I might even unplug it, baby. I might even unplug it.
Don't tear it up, though. Don't tear it up.
I can tear it up. I might unplug it. But it's something to be, and I'm not going to say he's the best. I hate when people call him the GOAT.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like, and it's not him personally.
No.
My point is we should not identify Super Bowl wins with greatness and being the GOAT. It's just my personal opinion. I'm going to tell you, man, I kind of was a somewhat, Pittsburgh Steelers growing up fan. Terry Bradshaw, to me, is underrated as a quarterback. And those 4 Super Bowls he won, he played out of his mind. Rodgers Staubach doesn't get the recognition that he deserved, man. You talk about I seen some great quarterbacks, and I'm not knocking Tom Brady, but I knew when Rodgers Staubach basically came down, he got in that shotgun, and you weren't a Cowboy. You was afraid, bro. Yeah. You was afraid. What is Rodgers? I mean, he instilled fear in you. So, and seeing all the quarterbacks, I wasn't even a big Joe Montana fan. But I've seen some quarterbacks, man, I watched. Dan Marino's another one. You watched him. So to me, when you say he's great because he won the Super Bowl, you're doing a disservice. He's not the GOAT. He's a damn good quarterback. He took advantage of some opportunities that was given to him, like was given to him on Sunday. Because he threw, I mean, when I don't care, you can't be GOAT when you're doing these numbers and throw the ball and you look the other way and throwing a punt for an interception. That's not great, bro. I don't care what you said. But when you got a man on the opposite side and a team on the opposite side that can't take advantage and afraid to take advantage, then I don't mind him for doing what he does. I think they're going to get beat by Kansas City. I just see that coming. Here again, Kansas City will is just way too much, man. They've been building this for a while. That is the new. I'm not going to say they're going to be the old Patriots, but they're building something there, bro. And that's what I said a couple of weeks ago. Andy Reid ain't leaving that. Unless you take him out on a stretcher, he ain't going nowhere, bro. He ain't going nowhere. They're on to something that deep. Look at the receiver Hartman. He basically gave them 7 points. He dropped it. Guess what? They come right back and gave him an end around. He's in a touchdown. That's how they play. They take care of each other. They care about each other. That's going to be tough to beat, bro. Yeah. And I don't think the Buccaneers defense can last 4 quarters. 4 quarters against that offense, man. It's going to be tough to do.
Yeah, who's going to guard Tyreek Hill? That's
going to be tough, bro.
Every question.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to do, man. If Bowles wins this, if Bowles come out and has that defense shut them down for 4 quarters, they ain't a head coaching job good enough for him because they should put him in the Hall of Fame as a defensive coordinator. I'm just telling you right now, man. Yeah. But they're on their way to, in my opinion, with this win in a week from now, they're on their way to a dynasty, bro. They really are. They can maintain those players and maintain that attitude, and they got that quarterback sold up for several years, bro. They're on their way to a dynasty. They just are. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The NFC should be ashamed of themselves in this. I'm gonna leave it, and I'm sorry if I got long. But NFC should be ashamed of themselves. You let Tom Brady come in your house, Green Bay, New Orleans, Atlanta, all you teams are basically a bunch of bums, in my opinion. They ain't no, just the mere fact he came in your division, you should be ready to smoke him out. And the best team that played him, think about this in the playoff, was the Washington football team with a rookie quarterback. That was the best team that played him. The mere fact that he was in that division, he got snuffed out. They should even made the playoffs. So I feel you and your cousin saying that. I feel because he should have been home watching the playoffs, baby. But nah, at NFC, y'all let him in. And guess what he's doing now? Like I said, for the first time in history, add that to his accolades. First time the team is home playing the Super Bowl, baby. For the first, if that don't motivate you, ain't no way in the world I will allow Puma Ice to play in my hometown, to be able to play in the home. Ain't no way, baby. I don't care if I gotta come hit you late. You're not doing it. Bring back the old NFL. That's what I'm talking about. Bring it back. So what? You get a 50-yard penalty. So what? You get kicked out of the game. Go in and knock it out. What are we talking about? We're all talking about all the
We ain't got to do it while you mad, son, in this segment. Well, let's talk about two more NFL stories, man. Matthew Stafford said he wants out. I guess he saw that interview. We saw the press conference. He saw with the coach and said, "Oh, hell no. I'm not staying here for another 4 years and getting beat up because this coach is crazy." Ice, the two subjects I want to talk about is Matthew Stafford. He wants out, possible teams he can go to. And my prediction is that Drew Brees will do it one more year. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Matthew Stafford, I mean, yeah, he kind of saw guy talking about rolling around in the dirt, just stomping up and down 3 times.
Biting kneecaps.
Yeah, then stupid with water to create mud. No, just certain things. He's like, I got to get the hell out of here. So at least they were smart enough to go, all right, you've been banged up. We're going to try to make it work. It's crazy. But I didn't think about this at first, but 2 teams come to mind. And it might be too much money, but actually you can work it out. You got to figure it out. 3 teams. New England, right? New England, they can use him because Belichick is desperate for somebody up there. I'm not sure if the money will work and if the talent is there for him, but that's a team I think he could go to. Another team I'm thinking about, and I just did a little bit more research over it too, is I'm thinking unless Drew Brees does not come back, I think New Orleans. I think he could be solid down there. They need somebody to come down there. And one thing we know, he can sling the rock. We might help Michael Thomas kind of get back on track and not want to leave as well. So I think New Orleans. And last but not least, I would say probably Indianapolis. In Indianapolis, because I just read or I found out earlier that I think Brissett is a free agent. So he's going to be a free agent. So the only person they would have over there is one of the younger Easton boys coming up in there. So he's like a backup. So if now that you have the old general has left and Brissett is a free agent, then Stafford, what they have, you got a nice up and coming running back. You got decent wide receivers and maybe get 1 or 2 in a decent tight end. That might be perfect for him. You don't have to spend a lot of money moving either. So those are the 3 teams that I would look at and say possibilities for him as well. And last but not least, on your second question, I think Brees is done, man. I mean, unless they might bring him back because they might tell him the old parable when they come back and they go, well, man, we really don't have nobody else to take your place, so we just need you to do it 1 more year because we don't want to fall off and so many things are hanging in the balance. He's like, okay, guys, if I must, I will. Get y'all a real damn quarterback, man. I ain't mad at Drew Brees, but the man can't throw the ball 25 yards. For real. Everybody know that. I don't know how many surgeries you can have or whatever. He can't throw the ball past 25 yards. And that's not going to help you. You either go dump the ball out to Kamara and get Michael Thomas in the game. Bring somebody in like Stafford or whoever else you want to bring in that can sling the ball. They deserve better, and it's time to move on.
Yeah, Black, I understand all the physical limitations that Brees has, but something about his pride, I don't think he got a stubborn pride about him. He's gonna play regardless of what he's gonna do, regardless of what he's gonna be on the sidelines trying to toss the ball, no matter how he feels, how many injuries. I just can't see him just walking away right now. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just can't see it right now. Your thoughts?
Let me just say this first, man. We've been doing this for a while, bro. And I gotta admit, you always come with some psychological stuff that I'm like, what the fuck? Stuff from, man. He don't sign his paycheck, bro. He ain't about him no more. It's not about, they did him a service the past 2 years letting him come back and play. Like I said, he can't throw the ball more than 20 yards. What you gonna do? Run every play 5 yards? I mean, no matter how much you may love him, you gotta move on.
I ain't got no love for him.
No, I'm just saying, I'm talking about New Orleans.
Yeah.
They did that out of respect because he won a Super Bowl, bro. You can't keep showing him that type of admiration. You got Jameis Winston ready to go. If not, you can't get him ready. You got to bring somebody in. He will not be out there, bro. I mean, there's no way. If they could bring him back, I'm telling you right now, they'll start burning jerseys at Canal Street. They bring him back, bro. They will. But let me just say this, and I don't think the Patriots are going to take a shot on Stafford. I don't think they will. I think the quarterback that's going to end up with the Patriots is going to be Ice from Atlanta. I think he's headed there. Matty Ice is going there, bro. The owner already came out and said him and Julio will not be in Atlanta Falcons uniform next year. The owner said this, not the new general manager. Before he even hires someone, say they will not be here. He's not paying them to basically not get it done. Matty Ice will be nice in a Patriots uniform, in my opinion. I'm going to say this about Stafford, and it may sound kind of strange. He's going to be wearing the star next year, bro. He's going to be wearing the star. Jerry Jones has always been fond of Matty Ice. Always been fond. So you tell me this. He's going to come in the Cowboys and play for less money than what you got to give Dak. Dak's coming off an injury. Dak should have signed that contract, bro. He will not be wearing a Cowboys uniform next year. Stafford will be wearing a Cowboys uniform. I said here first. You know Black Door breaks stuff on this show, so don't act like it's crazy. He will be wearing a Cowboys uniform in the star next year. Jerry Jones is going to get him there high hell or water, and Dak will be left out looking for a team. If he's going to find out the hard way, bro, you may want to sleep well on that bed because that's all you got is that commercial. And then Chucky Soup's going to walk away from you because you ain't a Cowboy no more. That yoga commercial, say that goodbye. But yes, that's where he's headed, bro. Stafford's he's going to be wearing a Cowboys uniform. And he will fit well. He love to sling it. You got the receivers get down the field. Come on, man. And then Zeke will come back. If he was a full shirt, he's going to come back to what he was. I'm here to tell you, but that's why I see him playing, man. I don't think the Colts, I know Wilson might leave the backup quarterback, like I said, free agent, they leave. I'm not sure what direction they're going to go in. I was surprised they kind of let the old guy go because I thought he did okay when they kind of boxed him in. But I don't see him going to the Colts. If they allow him to go where he want to go, he's going to be wearing a Cowboys, bro. Cowboys uniform. I just think that's where it is, man. I'm just saying, that's just my opinion.
It should be interesting where all these quarterbacks land because, after the Super Bowl, we'll see where all these quarterbacks land. I wouldn't be surprised if Breeze come back. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Let's go to college basketball. And do you want me to put you on hold, Black? College
yeah, you can block my square out, bro.
All right, Ice. Let's talk about some college basketball. We know he's taking notes. Gonzaga still number one, followed by Baylor, Villanova, Michigan moved up 3 spots, followed by Texas. You had the coach there at Texas that had COVID, so he was without his team, and they dropped a game without him. Houston, I spoke about Houston about a couple of weeks ago. Really good team to watch if you ever get a chance to watch them. Iowa's falling down the ranks at number 7. Virginia, this is a different Virginia team. We know Virginia playing great defense and keeping teams under 500 and or 50 points. This is a team that can score, and they score at will. They moved up 5 spots to number 8. You got Alabama, Texas Tech, and me and Ice had a text exchange about the point guard at Texas Tech. He's a gun, man, and his teammates should whoop his ass because he had 3 men open, and he trying to play hero ball with 3 men on him. And last week he hit a game-winning shot, and I said he's too much of a gun. He doesn't pass the ball, and he does not only at the end of the game, but during the game, he's always trying to throw up shots. You can tell when he's not going to pass the ball and he's coming down the court. Well, I think he cost Texas Tech that game. He had a guy on the other side of the paint and 2 guys on the 3-point line that were wide open that he could have dumped the ball to and had better shots than trying to take a shot against 3 defenders. West Virginia, number 11, Missouri. They dropped a game recently, but they are still at number 12. Ohio State moves up 2 spots. Wisconsin moves down 4 spots to number 14. Kansas is playing tonight, and they are trailing TCU at the moment. They are ranked number 15, followed by Florida State, Creighton, Tennessee, Illinois, and Virginia Tech. But Ice, give me your eye test on basketball.
I'm going to stick with the 1 game major win for Oklahoma over Texas. kind of like that last second type situation. Big game for Oklahoma. A lot of people been watching, trying to see where they're gonna make a move. Huge game for them. We got some really good games coming up, man. You mentioned all about the up and down movement of teams, but some really good games coming up this weekend. Iowa, Illinois, great game. We know Illinois can be up and down. They can be the type of teams you might think can play in the final 8, and then they can come back and lose a game. You go, how the hell did they lose that? It's like losing to DePaul. No disrespect, DePaul, but it's just one of those things. They go open back and forth. I think that's going to be a great game. Iowa, Illinois, Virginia versus Virginia Tech is coming up this weekend as well. Looking forward to that. Alabama and Oklahoma. Alabama finally got up to the top 10, and we know what we mentioned about what Oklahoma did to Texas. I think that's going to be a good matchup as well. Missouri versus TCU. Missouri's playing some pretty good ball. TCU will be ready for upset mode if possible for them. Tennessee and Kansas, two teams trying to find their ways after losing, trying to get back into the upper echelon of college basketball. And last but not least, Minnesota versus Purdue, because these are teams that are scratching and clawing, trying to find their way through. Hopefully that when it's time for Selection Sunday or Monday or Tuesday or whatever Thursday it's going to be.
There y'all go again. There you go again.
Well, I'm just saying that's how they're going to do it. So there are a lot of scratching and not a lot of games left, man. So these big matchups like this really count. And the one team I'll say, too, that you should really watch out for, you mentioned them earlier, they're slowly but surely coming on. And they always find a way. They're not going to knock your socks off, but you do not want to see them when they're 19 7-footers during tournament time. That's Florida State. They're making a move. I think they won and lost 2 games.
Yeah. I had a chance to watch Creighton last night too, and they're a pretty good game. They go up against DePaul on Saturday. DePaul just got a really late start with the COVID situation, and they just can't get things right. I thought they were going to be an up and coming team from last year, but they just can't get right this year. Let's go to baseball, man. And I'm gonna bring up this topic again, Ice, and I want Black to chime on this too. There are no people going into the Hall of Fame this year. No players going into the Hall of Fame this year. Curt Schilling told the committee to take his name off. But I'm gonna go to Black with this first, because you sent me an article about what Reggie Jackson had to say about Curt Schilling. And then we could talk about Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens and all that. But Reggie Jackson saying, you know what? This was your own doing, man. This was your own doing, and why you're not in the Hall. Explain, Black.
Well, realistically, I mean, he basically supported what happened at the Capitol that day. And I'm not sure that's the reason why he didn't get voted in. I don't even know why he was up on the ballot, to be honest with you. But Reggie Jackson, I love what he said. He said, you basically, for the most part, want to support a man and support what happened in the Capitol and call that freedom of speech, but at the same time, you feel like you have a right to go into the Hall of Fame? No, that's why he didn't get in, and your name should be taken off the ballot. So yeah, I admire Jesse Jackson. I mean, he don't come out and say much. When he does, he says something. And he, to me, is kind of setting the tone with other Black leagues that are playing and are not playing should not be afraid to open their mouth and say, especially when you got a guaranteed damn contract, man. How you pipe down when your money's guaranteed? Say what you got to say, bro. And they're paying you to do the act and the service you give. Stop being these yes men all the time. But I love it, man. He was like, yes, you want to support them and act like basically what they was doing, freedom of speech, that was freedom of speech? Breaking into the Capitol? Yes. If you want to stand behind that and support that, yeah, then you don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Hello.
Was it Reggie Jackson or Jesse Jackson?
No, Jesse, the baseball player. Reggie Jackson.
Reggie
yes.
Jackson. Okay, all right. Ice, your thoughts on this, man? Because I felt that, you're not going to have any Major League Baseball players in the Hall of Fame this year, but you just made an announcement that you're going to recognize the records of the Negro League players. Why not induct some of the Negro League players and have their families honored in this year's Hall of Fame ceremonies? That's just one man's thought. Your thoughts about the whole situation.
Puma, you know what? That's why I love you, man. You always thinking about the next man. You know that they ain't gonna do the right thing.
Here goes again.
You think they're gonna put the Negro League players in before Curt Schilling? Come on, man. We barely got them in, and now they saying, well, we don't know what kind of records are going in, so we just put them in to put them in. We really don't know where we need to place them. Maybe Josh Gibson only hit 200 home runs compared to what we thought he hit over 800. But I think the records only show he hit 200, which is why you shouldn't even mention the stats. Just say we put them in, right? Quit trying to put them in order. He's 24, he's 22. Yeah, Satchel Paige had this many strikeouts. Dude, we know the numbers are not right because of the records that you say you can't find. And you know how that is when top-notch individuals say they're looking for the proper records. They miss those records just mysteriously some kind of way. Anyway, I know they weren't going to do that. But in regards to the class itself, I told you before, I thought it was the right thing not to put anybody in. It's a crazy year. You didn't really have a great year of baseball. I mean, World Series was good, but it wasn't a full season really like. So why even waste the time? And nobody's going to come to the ceremonies anyway, move it. But I will say this, interesting. Kurt Schilling, though, 71%. I think you need, 75% to get in?
Yes.
Or to vote? Okay. So here's what I find ironic, though. Okay. So next year, they had no choice, in my opinion. You got Kurt Schilling had 71%. Barry Bonds had 61%. So did Roger Clemens. All the little steroid dudes had their little, and next year is their last official year to be voted in by the writers. You got to put them dudes in, man. You got to put them dudes in. And most importantly, after next year, too, you have some other things coming up. You have some other players coming up that are eligible. So now what you going to do? You got Alex Rodriguez coming up, David Ortiz, Big Papi, Jimmy Rollins is coming up, Ryan Howard from Philadelphia is coming up. Also another guy that probably is one of the top closers in all of baseball, Joe Nathan, used to play with them Minnesota. Dynamite guy that's going to be up. So you got to let somebody in. And so you're going to tell me these writers, and they might do it, but then you're going to keep holding on to that steroid thing for forever. Definitely two guys that deserve to get in Clemens and Barry Bonds. You're not going to let them in because you're still holding a damn grudge. Everybody was using that shit, allegedly. You know how that is. It was. Just put a big old asterisk or a stamp over their face. Let them dudes in, man. You've been holding that forever, baseball writers. You know you have. This is their last year. And now you're going to hold on to it because you're trying to prove a point. It's the same damn people that say, Ken Griffey was first ballot, but one dude says he didn't think he wanted to be different. He didn't want to be perfect, to be unanimous, so he didn't vote for him. What? The hell, that's that ignorant, think that you're bigger than the game.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So
Pete Rose.
No disrespect. I love Pete, but Pete wasn't the smartest dude in the world. Well, that's why he signed the paper, and they've been holding that shit over his head forever. And I'm gonna tell you this: he gonna die first. No disrespect, Pete. He gonna die first before he get into the damn hall. That's a damn shame, but it's real. It's been holding up to this point. So you hear when Pete Rose passed, they're gonna go. And into the Hall of Fame, we like to possibly bring in Pete Rose. His family is here with us. I'm trying to tell you, that's how they're gonna do it, bro.
Yeah, which would be, honor the man for what he did on the field.
True.
Get the rest of that out the way. But here's a quick question that I probably would I was gonna say for a last second shot, but does the public really care about who gets in the Hall of Fame nowadays now? Because it's a bunch of elite, I guess, so-called elite writers that decide this. I'm getting to a point where I don't even care who's in the Hall of Fame, whether it's football, basketball or baseball, because you're always going to have these arguments of whether people, you got some slam dunks of people who really deserve to be there. But it's like, you got a younger generation that is a now generation. They want to see what's now. They're not looking at the past and what these guys do. And you just mentioned the names. They got to go back and Google it and all this other stuff. I don't see the younger generation, folks who are watching the game now, really caring about who's in the Hall of Fame, who gets inducted. It's all about these writers and what they think. Ice?
Yeah, I'll say this. As you mentioned, we're moving on to a period where journalism is not as strong as it was and doesn't have the significance and the priority they had before. And these writers need to get over themselves, bro. They're not that important. And you start watching, and I know people, we're not the biggest ESPN fans, but when they start cutting salaries, like Big Boy over there, Dan Raphael, the dude that does boxing, they let him go there and re-sign his contract. Dude, they love you right now. Stephen A is getting his money because he's the flavor of the month. And that may not even last long. I'm trying to tell you, the media types need to get over themselves because these young people are like, we don't even give a damn what's going on. So to me, these ballots and these voting process with the writers and whatnot, that's their last saving grace where they feel important. Like they have something over their head. But people are tired of this BS because you've been holding. Nobody cares. I mean, for the last time, you get to say who gets into the Hall of Fame, and now the players are coming after you too. How dare you say that? With Terrell Owens, I wasn't his biggest fan off the field, but he deserved to be in. You making him wait? Man, just give it up, bro. They need to just have a numeric system. If you get enough votes, let him in. But all of this holding grudges and, well, I don't like him because he got too many baby mamas. Like the DeAndre Hopkins stuff, because you don't like the way them men living their life. He ain't hurt nobody. Let them dudes in. Writers need to get over themselves. Seriously.
Yeah, truly. Black, I know you don't care who gets in the Hall of Fame, but do you think the public even cares at this particular point, man?
I think maybe more so in baseball they do. I'm not going to say basketball and football. I think people gave up on basketball and they realize it's a joke for the most part. Football, I think football is starting to lose their status a little bit because, like I said, even with football, you'll watch players that deserve to be in there. For whatever reason, they've been penalized. If they're not popular, they're not on TV, whatever the case may be. To this day, I'll be honest with you, I don't understand why the quarterback, Steve, I can't think of his name, for the 49ers is in the Hall of Fame. I don't get it.
Oh, Steve Young, yeah.
Yeah, Steve Young. I don't get it.
Same thing with Kenny Stabler. I thought he was in, and he died.
Yeah.
He gets in. I'm like, why would you keep him out?
When he went in, what was the rush you put him in? I don't get it. The guy won, for the most part, he had maybe 2-3 good seasons. Let's be honest. And he's in the Hall of Fame. So I look at baseball, and when I read the story about, what Jackson said about Curt Schilling, like I said, he ain't missing by much. No. So one of the dumbest things he says is take my name off it because you probably will get in. I mean, it's just, you want to be cocky, but he didn't miss it by much. So even if what's name had 67, that's much better than what they had maybe a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I kind of believe that baseball will let them in. I think they wanted to punish them. But I think what happens now in a lot of the Hall of Fames is that it shouldn't be based on what you've done, who likes you or whatever. If you played the game at an exceptional rate and you took your role to a different level and you were basically for a long period of time, you maintain it, okay, you can go in. But it should not be, I like this one, I don't like that one. This one didn't talk to the media. Yeah. No, you're grown men. Take your feelings out of it. It's not about you. It's not. I mean, I don't like Curt Schilling, but if he deserved to be in there, damn it, let him go. It is what it is. I mean, it's just that simple, but men are acting like a bunch of women. For far as I'm certain writers, they're big on this power and into their feelings. And I've seen that in the NFL for years. They've kept some players out because they don't like them. This one, no, they deserve to be in. Let them in. And I think if anything, that's what's going on. People starting to kind of lose interest in because you turn into a he-she game. Seriously, stop acting like a she. Then it'll be a man. And if they deserve to be in, if not, then don't put them in at all. If their play is not warranted to be in, don't put them in. But I think the only sport that's really paying attention is baseball. And I don't think that's going to last much longer. If you put them in my personal opinion, and I'll say it won't be long, but you put them in, Barry Bonds, Curt Schilling, and Roger Clemens, you really do, in my opinion, take the integrity of the Hall of Fame and throw it out the window. And I'm not a big baseball fan, but I think that's what people are going to start looking at it for. If you know they were juicing, don't put them in. I don't care. I hate to say it is what it is. I don't know, asterisk and whatever. The Hall of Fame would be better served with them being out than being in. I'm just saying it as my personal opinion.
All right, valid point, guys. Black, I'm gonna stay with you since you already did Why You Mad, Son. What's your question this week?
Ooh, this is a question, man, that it probably didn't make it around, the media world. They didn't kind of get out there that much. But the Mariners are sitting down talking to Eli Manning about a position with the New York Giants. And I just want to get your opinion on that.
Ice, what's your thoughts, man? because I just had like a pain just go straight through
You
my
know
head.
what? Hey, he was your quarterback. He did win Super Bowls for you. Maybe, just maybe, he can turn something around in that front office. Because now he's showing you he has different traits, a different skill set that he can make some things happen. And maybe he can just come in and maybe he can just help that team get better. Now they were a little close off and on. Maybe he's the missing ingredient because as he's showing you now, he can even that to the point where he said, "I put that shit on everything."
Yeah. Well, you know what? Yeah, you're a Dallas Cowboy fan. You got to hold a straight face because you know that would be the detriment to the New York Giants. If he could act that well, he should have acted like a quarterback while he was playing. No. You need to just cut ties. Cut ties with Eli Manning. Cut ties. Please, just cut ties. Don't even have him associated with the organization anymore. What is it about this dude where he has him, he's just caressing their huevos, man. And they tend to just keep him around. I don't understand. Does he need a job? If he needs a job, fine. Come on, we'll find something. We'll create something for you. But don't have him in operations and talking to players and all that stuff. He didn't talk to him while he was playing. He was like this nerd, off like this Rain Man kind of character on the corner by himself. Nobody knew he was throwing the ball. Nobody knew what he was doing. Nobody knew what he was thinking. Did anybody even hang out with Eli Manning? Come on, man. Let him go. Let him go, man. Let's cut this chapter out, man. Black, you sit up there laughing, man. You know good damn well Giants should cut ties with Eli Manning. Yeah. Guy catching balls on the side of his helmet and all that stuff.
You know what? I love it, man. When you go off when it's not don't like it, man, because you finally got there. The early years of the show, you always try to maintain this calm composure. I'm Puma. Now it's like you be letting it rip, baby, and I love it. I love it, man. I'm gonna tell you something. When I read this article, I got mad as hell. Mad as hell. Because I'm like you. At what capacity Eli can give you anything? I mean, okay, he won 2 Super Bowls. That's enough. Quarterback coach, hell no. What are you gonna be able to tell him how to lead in interceptions? I mean, reason right now, Daniel Jones is a starting quarterback of the New York Giants. Thanks to Eli. Are you kidding me? They allow him to pick his successor. Come on, at some point, you gotta see him like he's Rain Man. He barely got you 2 championships. That's enough. He's done his job. Move on. I don't understand the Maras. What is it that he does? You want to have grandkids by him? I don't understand. The man, first of all, the man has no personality.
None.
None. He has no NFL where he can talk about anything.
Who is he friends with? Who is Eli Manning friends with on his team?
Put a microphone in front of him. You got to be kidding me. You know what I mean? At some point, you got to move beyond Eli Manning. Take this team and move. It's funny because I threw this at a couple of Giants fans today, and they all had the same reaction. It's like, are you kidding me, man? I can't even.
No. I can't believe that they would even let that get out in the press. I really don't. No.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. Granted, I understand. What I don't understand, don't even love. I mean, Phil Simms only won one. Granted.
Yeah. Don't Phil Simms it. I'd rather than Phil Simms.
He will make more sense.
Yeah.
He's not loved like Peyton Manning is. Parcells wants you to. You don't love him. Why is Eli Manning is this great person? They just give it up. And Eli, realistically, bro, go live your life. You can't be a Giant for life. Guess what? That Manning stuff is going to work at some point, bro. You got to go find something else. You got kids. How about going and being a father? How about you went to Ole Miss for a reason? How about go doing something else with your life?
Go stink them up for a while. Do that. God.
Can I say one thing? I think they're bringing him back for one reason, because he has an end. Bring back Odell. Bring back Odell.
Oh, he's gonna be without a job pretty soon.
Bring back Odell back.
Odell,
Yeah.
I don't care what they say.
Yeah.
Odell ain't coming. He ain't putting that uniform
They
back
don't need
on.
it.
No, I don't think so. He ain't putting that back on.
Trade him for draft picks. They don't need it.
I'm talking about the Giants.
Whatever.
Bring back the Giants. To the Giants.
Oh, he can't come back there. If he did, man, just roast me on that show, man. The Giants are just they just lost, man. If they bring Odell back, they lost, man. They lost. Ice, what's your question, man?
Oh wow, you have me real quick. Hey, going that I had it and you made me forget it, Puma. Go back to Black Thor and I'll get it back in a minute.
Black, you got another one, bro?
Yeah, I just saw this. We were talking about Drew Brees earlier, bro. And even Ben Roethlisberger saying now.
Yeah. I saw that.
My salary, I'll stay. Here's another man that threw how many receptions in the playoff game. So you being the general manager of the Pittsburgh Steelers, what would you do?
Oh, I'd find some sucker team. No, Ice, go. You go.
I'm not saying it. Repeat the question. I'm lost. Go ahead. Repeat the question.
Ben Roethlisberger is kind of saying the Pittsburgh Steelers, you know what, I still want to be here. I still want to play. I guess he's willing to work his salary, whatever cap, to take a hit to help them better in the future. If you're the general manager of the Pittsburgh Steelers, how would you move from this point?
Oh, wow. Well, one, you got to find your next quarterback, whoever that is. We know that they're not going to throw our buddy in there from Washington. But unless he's going to come back for about $500,000 a year. So he give you a little bit more room on the salary cap. You might bring him back for one more year. I mean, then he can serve as a mentor to Haskins. So, he's not going to play a lot, but then you're going to show. But I think the reason why if they do bring him back, they're going to do it because what is the alternative? We know your alternative. What's the other guy's name? Mason, whatever. What's the back?
Randolph.
Yeah, you don't want that in your life. So somebody got to play if you think you got a chance to at least still win some games. So I think that might be the reason, if anything. And he's asking for a reduced salary. Yeah, I mean, what else you going to do? You ain't going to draft the quarterback. That's not what they do. So unless you're bringing in somebody else new, I don't know.
Yeah, he's desperate. He is desperate. He knew after that game when he was sitting on that bench that this was it. He had his chances. They have put up with you with all the shenanigans, you being hurt, not being able to play for a whole season. This was it, and it was all on him. And I like Mike Tomlin hasn't said a word. I love it because he knows he's desperate. He's desperate. Here's what I would do if I was general manager. I'll find out when the next space shuttle is going up in the air and launch his ass as far away from the Pittsburgh Steelers as possible, because this dude is not going to take you there. He is done. He's been done 5 years. I've been saying this for 5 or 6 years. Find you another quarterback. Ben can't do it anymore. Quit putting up with this offensive line who are beaten down, holding the line, trying to hold defenders off for 10, 15 seconds so you can get back there and decide who you want to throw the ball to. They can't do it. That's not today's game anymore. Get him out of there. Get him as far away from the Pittsburgh organization as possible. I just read an article on Mike Tomlin. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers ownership is not going to get rid of Mike Tomlin no matter what. This is their guy. So if that's their guy, I know in my heart of hearts, I don't think Mike Tomlin is a big fan of Roethlisberger. Get you another quarterback, whether it's through the draft, develop the ones you have, or through trade. Get rid of Ben Roethlisberger. He has worn out his welcome with the Pittsburgh Steelers as far as I'm concerned. Black?
Yeah, I think the way he's handled himself, and you're right, Mike Tomlin always kind of looked the other way. When they draft Rule, the way he came out and talked, just the way he's kind of been Pittsburgh Steelers. I said this earlier about Tom Brady. You can say what you want about him. He has grace about him, bro. Big Ben has never had it. I'm going to tell you right now, if I could work a deal, I'm not even saying, sometimes I think we get lost with this Madden fantasy. Put Matty Ice in there and keep it moving, bro. If you can. Ben Roethlisberger should never put on another Pittsburgh Steelers uniform. He doesn't deserve to. He just doesn't. He hasn't given you. You got some young receivers. Either do one or two things. If you bring in Matty Ice or another quarterback, and if you can't, find yourself a young quarterback in the draft right now that you can bring in that's mobile, that can move around and go from there, bro. Yeah. That's what you do. That's what. And if he sticks around, you tell him you're only in there to play maybe a few games this season, and we're gonna yank your ass out. You get nothing else. And like I said, maybe I'll give him $750,000. He did one Super Bowl there. This is what you're playing for. This is it. And if you don't want that, hit the road, Jack. You gotta go. You have to go. And like you said, he's been holding on the ball for 20, 30 seconds. But his arrogance, to me, his pure arrogance, the way he walked around, like he was above everything else. Guess what? Look around with the quarterbacks that you came in with. Where are they? They're gone. Yeah. You should be on the same ship. Eli left a couple of years ago. What's name stayed a couple of years too long? Sayonara.
Yeah. Remember the year where he after the season when they were supposed to win it, and he said, "Oh, I don't know if I'm coming back." That should have been the year where they were like, "Okay, cool, bye. Let's get another quarterback. Bye." They should have seriously said, "Let's get his heir apparent right now." He was hemming and hawing all summer. Then he came back and he was playing around in training camp, wasn't taking it seriously, got hurt. That should have been the year. If any other year within that 6-year period, that should have been the year he was launched. Ice, your question.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback what you sent us earlier, and I didn't want to not let this get away from us. What are your takes on the $100 million agent lawsuit against Zion Williamson being dismissed?
Black. I'm gonna tell you something, man.
I'll say this. I mean, from what I read and gather, I think whoever was suing him, first of all, he went for too much money. You kind of basically, the man hasn't made $100 million yet. So you're trying to line your pockets a little bit too early. And I think for once, somebody stood back and said, you know what? He was a young man. Whatever he kind of said to you, you came in, was trying to take advantage of him, and it didn't work out. So I'm happy that he's kind of able to walk away from it and kind of move on, because we've seen it happen before with these agents. They latch onto these young cats, and you're not doing much for them for whatever reason. They look up and go, you know what? I don't want to be here anymore. So I'm not saying it was totally right, but I'm happy with Zion, bro, because no man should be starting his career in any sport holding you $100 million. He's not even worth $100 million yet. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's a sad story about a lot of these young men who get caught up with deals they make before they really have the knowledge and the savvy to kind of be businessmen in this sport. And so I'm glad he was able to get out of it. I'm kind of thinking maybe they cut some deals or something like that, behind the scenes and say, you know what, hey, he needs to go on and play. He needs to, go on with his career. What would you settle for? What can we give you to make this go away? And I think that's how deals are done in the back rooms. What can we do to make this kind of go away? Because you're not going to get the $100 million, but we'll give you credit for what you did at the beginning of his career. So you can go away now, and we'll take it from here. So, Ice, what are your thoughts?
Man, I tried to tell y'all back then. Y'all kept telling me, oh, it's going this and that. I said, dude, you're dealing with the big dogs. You're dealing with Adidas. You're dealing with Nike with the shoes. You're dealing with Duke basketball. You're dealing with the aura of Coach, the legacy of Coach K, all of this stuff. In the NBA, that I told you, in college by NCAA as well, nobody was going to benefit from Zion having to give up that money. They pushed it off the way until he got out of college. Now he's a pro, and they still try to get the money. And the other thing, too, is this gave all of these powers that be enough time to do some real investigation into this case. Now, everybody says, did he get paid some money? Probably did. That's what it's looking like. But they went deep and took tooth and nail through the comb through everything to look at the evidence. Come to find out, the agent that was suing him for $100 million did not file the proper paperwork to become an agent in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? But you representing? And they just said, oh, we're going to find this. Well, he don't owe you no money. Did he cheat? He probably did. but you ain't getting no damn money because you're not even registered in North Carolina. So if you did bribe him and do whatever, and he said, yeah, everything you said is null and void because you failed to fly. You know how they do. Yeah, I'm sorry, but you failed. You know, you just hit the lotto. Well, I'm sorry, sir. The deadline ended. And you were like, what the hell? Well, you know, if you had filed proper paperwork, you would have got all your money. Oops. Yeah, man. Nobody, I mean, they had enough time to really figure it out. And guess what they came up with? You did yourself a disservice. Because I'm telling you, if they had signed that paperwork, they probably would have got that money that you're talking about selling out of court. But you get zero now. Because once they found out that you failed to file the proper paperwork, you asked out. Good luck. Mm-hmm. You look like Richard Pryor said. Why did you forget to pay your taxes, Mr. Pryor? He said, I forgot, Your Honor. He said, you remember next year,
All right, last second shot, Black.
Woo, my second shot is, man, to the guys that chose to opt out. I read a story about there was like 69 NFL players that chose not to play this year due to COVID, and no one talks about them. And that's something that is interesting. I respect you in the sense that you want to put your life in jeopardy. You don't want to put your family life in jeopardy, and that is your choice. But out of the 69, I'm wondering how many of yours could have took a knee when Colin Kaepernick was basically doing something that could have benefited and moved the needle. It makes me wonder.
Yeah. Ice?
Great point. I'm going to say this, get off of it real quick. To the Houston Texans fans and front office, the Houston Texans, the ownership has the right to do whatever they want to. They made their call. Colors is their guy. That's what they wanted to go with. Had no problem with it. It's a good old boys network. Everybody knows that. I'm fine with that. But if you really wanted to win football games, something tells me you might not have made the right call. So here's my thing. You rushed to get Colors in there. Maybe he was your guy, but are you going to win any football games? My question is this. You mean to tell me you couldn't have waited 3 weeks? You couldn't have waited 3 weeks to make a decision to see if Eric Bieniemy really wanted the job? Because Eric Bieniemy opens the door for a lot of other things. I think he's still tied to Deshaun Watson wanting to stay. Because think about it. Colors, Leslie Frazier, Hugh Jackson, Marvin Lewis, they weren't going nowhere. They ain't got nothing to do. They all would have still been there. And you still could talk to Bieniemy even further to find out what was going on. Then you could even talk more with Deshaun Watson. And notice, as soon, even though he had his papers in earlier, or he had made the request earlier, as soon as they named Colors their head coach, Deshaun Watson could have pulled back his request to be traded. He's like, nope, I want to get the hell out of here. If he and I don't know, maybe Bieniemy wouldn't have changed his mind either, but I would have taken that chance. But why did it take you? Why couldn't you wait 3 weeks, man? But hey, your money, your league, your team, all that. Good luck. And I'm telling you, with Deshaun Watson, I'll say this last but not least. If he's really that angry and you don't want to trade him, I wouldn't be surprised he sat out. People think that's beneath him or whatever. I think you will see it, and then you have no choice because he's like, I ain't trying to play. He has that kind of money. Notice y'all just gave him that money. Was it $144 million? So he got a little change still coming. So he can sit out. He gonna force your hand. He can force your hand because this is one time, probably the first in history, that besides when Jim Brown walked off to go act, that a player can say, I'm not playing, and I decide where the hell you trade me to.
Yeah, good points, guys. We were talking about baseball in the Hall of Fame, and Alex Rodriguez is due to be in the Hall of Fame or being inducted in the Hall of Fame. I'm just wondering, with all the things that Alex Rodriguez did and his recent kind of rebranding himself, the over and under, and if he gets in the first ballot or they make him wait the 10 years to get into the Hall of Fame. I'm just wondering. I'm really curious, and I'm willing to bet the over under on that, whether they make him wait 5 to 10 years or they put him in first ballot Hall of Fame because of what he's been doing on television, his new show about redemption and people who have done things wrong and come back and done well with J-Lo. Just his whole image has just changed. And it's my theory that once you do TV and you create a whole new image for yourself as an athlete, the journalists tend to vote for you a little bit more. Just watch. Just watch. That's our show. We'll come back next week. Always check our overtime segment and stick for the whole show. Subscribe. Give us comments. Give us some love or give us some hate. Doesn't matter with us. We're the Goon Squad. We'll see you next time.
That's fine, but why does it seem like black men are not getting a fair shake by these owners? And that's what it really comes down to. Because you can't tell me he didn't deserve a second interview. You know, and we can, at some point, we can approach the Rooney Rule in itself as like, you're not, even the Rooney Rule, you're not even standing by it. Because when you look at how Jacksonville, they're supposed to, if I remember correctly, and I'll research this, they're supposed to be some form of penalty to the Rooney Rule if you don't talk to a black coach, general manager. What penalty did Jacksonville face by just hiring Urban Myers? So if you have a rule where there's no penalty, what are you really saying? And from that, I don't think it should be mandated you got to hire nobody, but damn, if you got a rule that just says, there's no punishment, what are you really trying to say? And I will say this, though, about Eric Bieniemy, man. This is one thing I'm going to say. He's got work to do in the offseason, bro. And even the owners' meeting, you need to get down there, bro. Some of these owners that refuse you, walk up to them, have a little conversation. There's got to be somebody in that meeting of owners to start to feel good about you. And you got work to do. Don't sit back and just wait to, we got to find a way, just on his behalf, I'm just saying, we're going to do what we're going to do. But he need to contact those owners because it was all, it was basically doing Zoom. If they're meeting, they're going to be there in person, guess what, bro? You need to go down there. You hang out. When they come out, talk to them, have conversation. Because we both know a lot of business gets done on golf courses, bro. It is what it is. And some of these cats are getting these jobs. Guess what their agents are doing? They're meeting with these owners in the off season. They're shaking hands. They're doing this. So you got to get out there and get yourself out there, bro. And that's what I mean. He got to market himself a little bit too. Just don't wait till it starts because you can't tell me somebody's Dan Campbell, they get hired based on him being Dan Campbell. I'm just saying what it is, bro. He didn't, because you got, just like the cat that I was telling you about that's going with the teams, the Texans let him go, but his agent's always working behind the scene. Here's a cat that wasn't drafted. Here's a cat that wasn't basically nowhere around. He done got him tryouts and got him on 2 teams already. His agent. So what I'm saying is that before they get a chance to know who he is, he's out there working. He told them in the offseason, stick with your trainer, do training. I'll be out there. We'll get you with someone. So I'm saying now in the offseason, I don't know who his agent is, if he has an agent. But even beyond that, get out there, bro. Get out there. Break bread with these cats, just if you have to, and then leave an impression. They might say something to another owner. It may happen, and that's how a lot of business is done. But even beyond that, we got to do what we have to do. But I think a lot of times, man, like you said about the deals broken with Zion, a lot of times these coaches get deals because their agent gets them in there. It's not about who they are, whatever the case may be. But we don't see that side of it.
See, something that blew me away, though, is, and this would let me know where Houston was going in a way, to this point, when they talked with the Cade McNown, former quarterback, they interviewed him. It's just the point that he got an interview. And his experience was high school. He coached his team's AAU basketball football team or whatever else it was. How can you seriously interview this guy? I don't care what kind of ties he has to Houston. How can you legitimately say this guy deserves a chance to even speak to the brass about being the head coach of your football team when your highest
man?
But your highest level of coaching was high school?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
It's a slap in the face.
Oh, wow.
It's a slap in the face of all that work you do as coordinators and on professional. I thought it was a slap in the face for Urban Myers to get the Jacksonville job, write his own ticket. You haven't coached one down in the NFL. And you get in Jacksonville.
I'll say this, man. Urban Meyer's job did not come in the last month, bro.
Yeah.
It didn't come. He started campaigning that a year in advance, man.
Yeah.
And it's no surprise what state is he coaching in.
Yeah.
And like you said,
It is, bro.
He probably met some people in the Super Bowl last year talking to him.
Yes.
Now he's connected with Fox. You know he's running across all the people. They all in the same studio. They running it. And you can't tell him. Here's the thing too that nobody talks about. We only saw him on Saturdays, right? You mean to tell me with all the connections that they got on Fox, he wasn't at no stadiums on Sunday talking to people, looking at the games, even though he wasn't literally at the games broadcasting. You mean he wasn't in attendance, talking to people, seeing what's going on? The world is his oyster. He got free opportunity to do whatever, no carte blanche. Nobody can tell him anything. As you mentioned, that's how you negotiate. You got the network of Fox. You can go anywhere you want to. All you say is, look, I want a credential. All right, Urban, we got you. You gonna watch the game? You just want to kind of see how they play and, maybe talk to a couple coaches. Dude, that's how they do it, man. That's how they do it.
He has to kind of do his work because we know he has a skill set. He's capable, but just don't, especially for us, we can't just rely on that anymore. Yeah. We just can't, man, because that's not how they're going to see us. They're just not. So he's got to get out there. And to me, he got to market himself some, bro. You got to find ways to be on ESPN talking. I don't care if it's diagnosing plays, whatever the case may be. Get out there, bro.
It's the old adage with African Americans: we got to be twice as good to be even.
Yes, bro.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah.
You surprised me with that Eli thing. I didn't think you.
Yeah, man. I read it today. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Wow. How do you? I don't know. Other than being a water boy, what can I don't get it.
I saw it and I'm like, nah, I'm not even. No.
Yeah.
It's your boy though, Eli. I always got a soft spot in their heart for Eli. Can't walk.
I don't get it, man.
He's a good.
Maybe it's his daddy, man.
Huh?
Maybe it's his daddy. I don't know. Maybe
he got 2 Super Bowls, man. Damn, give me some love.
You know damn well Eli lucked up and threw that ball.
Hey, he got 2 Super Bowls. Y'all need to have a eternal.
I'll give him 1. But that the ball he threw up, he didn't even look. He just threw the ball in the guy's direction. I'm like, but there was luck. He lucked up and won it.
Hey, you know what, y'all? You can go off of what all the stuff that would happen. I was at one of those Super Bowls, man. I was like, you got to be effing kidding me.
Oh, and Plexico Burris caught that pass?
No, I was at the Super Bowl when they beat New England.
Ooh,
yeah,
that hurt New England.
Whatever the one that was in Indianapolis. They played in Indianapolis. I was at that Super Bowl. I saw that in person. I'm sitting there going like, what the hell? I was like, this is not happening. And the funny thing about that is, after the game was over, I'm in the press box. So I'm coming down in the press box. And I was like, all right, well, we need to get ready to go down to the field and start talking to players or whatever. It's like, all right, the locker room. So I started making my way down. And there were some people, go ahead. There were some people that were just coming down, right? But people were coming out of the boxes, right?
Yeah.
People coming out of the boxes. And I heard somebody just like going off and going like, it was some lady. She was like kind of, cursing a little bit. And she was hot. And people were saying, somebody said something to her. And she went up even more. And she's like, I don't care. They don't do that to my baby, blah, blah, blah. Come to find out it was Tom Brady's wife, man. Yes. I said, that's her girl. I said, all right, Zell, girl.
Huh?
Yeah. Oh, she was hot. She was mad as hell. I can't believe it. They weren't making no calls. They weren't giving us anything. She loves her husband.
Wow.
You hate to see him lose. And I was like blown away because we just walking down the corridor. And she was like giving it to her. Of course, you could tell by her dress. She had the coat on, it was cold. She had the long coat on and everything. I was like, okay, yeah, that's Zell. I see you, girl, representing your man. I was like, okay. Small records do happen.
One quick story after that Super Bowl, man. We used to do a football camp in southern, one of the south suburbs at Hillcrest High School, and by Markham, where Rodney Harrison used to go to high school. And we used to do a football camp, and he was featured in the football camp with other players. And after that year they lost, we usually have meetings to see who's going to coach what position in the camp. And I came in the meeting like this.
no.
He looked at me like, mother.
Oh, no.
That's cool right there. That's
The
cool.
year, I think Jerome Bettis ran over him
Right.
in the the championship game. Because after the meeting, like towards the end of the meeting, he said, "Anybody got any questions?" And I raised my hand. I was like, "Did you get the number of that bus that ran you over there?" So my punishment is I had to run all the drills for Come on, coach. You gotta run this drill. Come on, coach. You gotta do it. But man, you knew those, big time fan of the Giants, man, but they were kind of lucky. The defense really kind of stood up.
Oh, yeah.
Eli, man. I mean, he kept them, the defense kept those teams in to give them a shot to win. But Eli threw that ball. He wasn't even looking down the field. He just threw it up. And whoever was under it would have got it.
It makes you just go like, well, I was like, wow, I can't believe this is happening.
That pass on the sidelines, all that stuff, man. It's like, okay, there was a little luck doing there. They did their thing, but the defense was the one that kept them close so they can have some miracles at the end.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm glad they won, but you're right. It's lucky because that's one thing the Giants go all over the Patriots, baby.
Yeah.
I tell you, that conversation, being up here in the Northeast and working with some Patriots fans, oh, man, I pull it out whenever I get opportunity. Man, Marshawn Lynch, you see him? That brother's tearing it up, man.
Yeah, he's protecting his chicken, man.
Yeah.
Getting that money off the field. He ain't got to play no more.
Oh, yeah.
He in a Subway commercial. He started his own agency. I'm like, go ahead, Marshawn.
And as much as he may seem as over the top and high-headed and crazy,
he's smart.
Yes. Intelligent brother.
Yes.
He might just did his bark sometimes is worse than his bite. So he understands the game and he's playing it well.
Yes.
Where he's I don't think they understand him, and he's actually a intelligent and a funny dude too.
Yeah.
He can play whatever role he needs to play to get that money.
Yeah. Yeah. He's doing it. I love what he signed that Alabama running back. That's like,
yeah.
Woo.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Najee. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a good move.
He's gonna be something else, man. Yeah, something else. I can't wait to see who he goes to. I can't.
He's gonna be in the first round. Somebody gonna take him.
Got him, because those Alabama running backs. Running back university right there.
You can see somebody like I think they got a couple picks. You can see somebody early on like Miami swooping them up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you just keep adding on to what they already got. And if they make, I'm telling you, I'm not be surprised, depending on if Watson presses it, your boy might be leaving, man.
Tua?
Yeah, man. They might. I mean, and I like Tua, but watching for Tua, you got to do it, man.
Yeah. I think so too. I don't think Miami sold on Tua as much as they're saying it, bro. I said that earlier. I just don't think they are. I think once they got him in the house, I don't think they thrilled with him.
So if you give,
I know the players aren't.
Yeah, but if you think about it, you give up Tua, what does Miami have? The number, whatever pick they have, 7th pick or something.
Number 3, I think.
3. So you give up 3. You give up the 3. You give up Tua, and whatever else for Deshaun Watson.
They can make it work.
You set. Yeah. Wherever he goes, that's set for the next 10 years, easily.
Right. And then, too, if you were Houston, you got the 3rd pick. You can pick who you want to, anybody besides Fields.
Yeah.
I was trying to move up to get that Alabama receiver.
Yeah.
Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah.
Yeah, now?
If you don't, the Jets going to get him.
Well, I
don't want to see him with the Jets.
Jets had 2 would probably go.
Yeah, they had 2.
That's what they're going to do. Because here's the thing. Let's be real. I mean, you can say you're trying to get a quarterback, and you really honestly have not given Darnold enough to play with. Let's be real. Besides Le'Veon Bell, I'm just saying. I mean, I ain't saying he's the answer, but I'm just saying you. So my question is, would you take a quarterback at 2?
If I couldn't get that receiver, yep.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but you're gonna get the receiver at 2.
Arnold is the interception machine, bro. I said that. Darnold is an interception machine, man. I said that while he was at USC.
Yeah.
Right, but let me ask you this though.
He has never shown to me.
I'm to ask you, who are you going? You got the number 2 pick, right? 2 or 3rd. You got the second pick, right? The Jets have the second pick.
So the Jets have the second pick, and if I wanted a quarterback and Miami wanted a receiver, I'd switch the pick and said, "Listen, we want somebody else. We'll give you this to get that receiver,
right?
But we want a quarterback."
I'm gonna tell you right now, the Jets should be taking that second pick and getting Watson. Ain't nothing else, bro. I'm just sorry. My opinion, the Jets need a quarterback. I mean, Donald, you've seen enough of him. Good receivers, no receivers. Like you said, he haven't proven it to you in college. You know, he's just not there. He can't hang on to the ball. I don't know what you're waiting on. If a new coach is coming in, you got a coach, you need to hire a good offensive coordinator. I would trade that pick in a heartbeat if I can get Watson. In a heartbeat. I would. You bring Watson in, even if you don't have the receivers this year and you work on next year, get some receivers, you got your quarterback set in New York for the next 10 years, man. There's no guessing. He's there for the next 10 years. And he elevates the team around him. That's one thing when what's name said, Sweeney said that about, he's like Michael Jordan. He does do that. He elevates the players around him. He does. So you bring him to the Jets, the receivers will look better immediately. I'm here to tell you. There's no question in my mind. I don't care what receiver out there.
If I'm sorry. I said, no, I like you said, though, but if I'm Miami and I'm trying to go to the next level, I'll make that damn trade. I mean, I to it, but I'm doing everything I can. Miami's in position with their defense, where they're moving offensively and get more.
Oh, yeah.
This is a game damn changer. I'm telling you, I'm Miami. I don't care what it's going to take besides my major guys or whatever. I need Deshaun Watson.
Plugged in Hank Erin because we didn't. That happened right after. I think we got off the air, something like that Friday. So we'll talk about that. And then Cicely Tyson just found out that she passed away, man.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah. All the icons we grew up watching.
Got to get it in, bro. That means we got the work to do. That's what I'm saying, Pete. Yeah. We got the work. We got to leave the rest of the legacy. Keep reading about other people. I'm thinking about that seriously. Where we got to put it down, man. The folks came before us. We have opportunities to do what we do collectively in other ways too. It's time to put it down, man. So, when it's our time, folks start talking about us. But most importantly, that we're leaving things for the younger folks to kind of follow. And I think that's one of the biggest things we need to do.
Legacy.
We need to start grabbing young people up, especially our young African-American men, and sharing. And even if it's not your son, we need to start sharing with people and putting them on the right track. Because we've been waiting on leaders, these big leaders, and these saviors forever. And now it's time for us to put it down on a local level. That's just my thought, and that's how I'm gonna run with it for the duration of this. Definitely for this year, we'll go from there.
Yeah, the savior we're looking for is looking right back at us in the mirror, man.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, it is. That's true talk.